Well, hello and welcome to, what is it now? Chapter 7 of my journey of how I became an international superstar model. So I did in the last video say that I was going to separate all the shoots. The official OM shoot was going on at the same time as the Zara Campaign shoot was going on. And in between I had all these flights to all these different places and all these things that were happening. And it was really crazy. I had a lot of scheduling, which I had to really nail and not miss a single flight. And it was super intense. And so I'd just flown back from New York. I'd landed in England. I'd got my schedule for these shoots and I was going to be flying. I was flying to Hamburg, and then I was flying to Copenhagen, and then I was flying to Sweden and all these other places, and then back to England, and then back to New York to do all these different shoots for all these covers of the magazines. And in the middle of these flights and shoots, I also had to fly to La Corona in Spain, which is the place where Interdex, which is Zara's parent company, it's their headquarters. And so everything was done there. And so in the middle of all that, I had to fly there to do a fitting for Zara. The shoot, eventually, I believe, I shot it in New York. So as I say, in between all these flights, I went to La Corona for the fitting, and then I had to go back from there to New York to do the final shoot, basically. And I'm just going to separate them. First, I'm going to talk about the Zara campaign, because otherwise I'm going to have these really long videos. It also requires a hell of a lot of editing from me and research on reminding me of all the different aspects of each shoot. And I'm very busy at the moment, so I'm just going to do the Zara campaign first. So, yes, I've booked Zara Campaign. I'm getting a big paycheck, and it's all fantastic and super exciting. I'm excited for the future of my career. I'm excited to be up on inside stores advertisements so that my friends and my family can see, sort of establishing me as, you know, I'm being successful. I'm not just out there being like, I'm a model, like, I'm great. I'm actually doing work, you know? So this Zara shoot, firstly, I had to go to the fitting, and when I went to the fitting, I met the head of Zara, I met all the stylists and all the behind-the-scenes team of Zara, and it was so interesting when I actually first arrived there, and I first went to the HQ, because they had, inside the building, they had fully constructed Zara stores, which weren't for the public to see, but just so that they could see it and they could really just like flesh out everything and make it look perfect. So you had all these like empty stores, basically, but branded just as like a showcase of what the stores worldwide are going to look like. I found that so interesting. And then I go up to start doing the fitting, and I meet the head of Zara and meet the stylists and the assistant stylists and all this kind of stuff. And I get put all these clothes on me and pictures taken, and people decide whether this is going to be the shoot that these are going to be the outfits that I'm going to wear. And at the time, they put the clothes on you and they take pictures and they put it up on this huge board, picture by picture by picture, and then from that they select the looks that are going to be in the final campaign. Because these photo shoots, you know, per day, they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have to pay the photographer. The photographer was David Sims, one of the biggest photographers in the world, probably still is, honestly. He was a photographer. He charges so much per shoot, especially because he had history with Zara, so he'd been working with them for a long time, and every time you work for them, you charge a little bit more money. So he was getting paid so much money. They had a very famous hairstylist as well who costs a lot of money. So they need to make sure that when this shoot happens, it's all going to go so smoothly. They're not going to need a second day. They're not going to have to pay everyone else for the extra days, as well as the models, as well as the crew, etc., as well as the rental of the actual place and stuff. So yeah, so you know, I was there and we were doing all that groundwork to make sure when I actually got on set that the shoot was going to go. And so I tried on all these different outfits, and as I say, I like Zara. I love Zara. I loved all their clothes. I loved the style. It was always kind of like, it always felt cool, you know. There was like a lot of like leather and tight jeans, which I loved at the time, and like boots and stuff. And I just really loved Zara's clothing. So I try on all these clothes, and then, you know, during my career so far, I didn't really feel comfortable asking for clothes. So, you know, I spoke to the head of Zara and I was like, hey, like, would you mind if I take some of these with me? But because I'm shooting next season's clothes, they can't give me the clothes then and there because obviously it's not even been released yet. So I asked them, oh, can I have some of these clothes? And he's like, you can have anything you want. Anything, any of these clothes that you want. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna make my whole modeling outfit out of these clothes. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, I ended up never getting any of those clothes. I'll tell you after the rest of the story. So anyway, I leave Zara feeling super excited. I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'm shooting with one of the biggest photographers in the world. My agent is saying, hey Jamie, if you make a good impression on this photographer, he will book you for everything. That's like a load of added pressure, honestly, that I really didn't need, but I understood why he would say that, you know, because it's an exciting time. I'm doing one of the biggest shoots I've ever done, and this is going to put me on the map completely. So I leave Zara, I'm super excited, and I do all the other shoots, and I'm heading to New York to do the final shoot with David Sims and all this kind of stuff, who I hadn't even met yet. And I turn up on set and I'm working with another model called Hayley, who was also a very big model at the time. And I learned that day also that we're also doing a video. So it's going to be like a video played in the stores and all this kind of stuff. So I'm extra excited because I'm an actor and like this is what I do. Let's just say the shoot didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. I loved the pictures that came back after it, but I had been on the road now in 5 different countries, plus another country for a fitting, plus another country for the shoot, and I was so tired. And like, you know, I was so tired and run down. I'm super grateful and amazed that everything's happening. So not at one point did I feel bitter about the whole thing. I was still super excited, but I was so tired. And I turned up on set and everything, and I'm really nervous. Obviously, I'm really nervous because it's the biggest thing that I've ever done. And yeah, and so we start shooting, and straight away, like, David Sims just seemed like kind of angry at me, and it put me in like a even more sort of defensive way. He was kind of angry at me because he felt like I couldn't relax. And anyway, so I'm doing the shoot and I'm doing my poses, and I'm trying to do the best that I can, despite how tired I am, despite all these shoots that I've done. I'm trying to, despite the photographer not seeming very happy with me, I'm trying to do the best that I can. I've just had my hair cut, and my haircut was amazing. My hairstyling was amazing, and the makeup was amazing, and they were so kind to me in the back and while doing my hair and stuff. It's still, I could sense the importance of everyone, you know, and I had a little bit of imposter syndrome about the whole thing. But when I was on set, like, when I was on set, it was just difficult. Like, it wasn't as engaging as some of the other times that I've shot with other people, and it didn't feel like we were doing like a mutual sort of experience. Like, I was contributing, they were contributing. It was very much like, let's just get these pictures. But at the same time, they weren't really prepared to like help out someone that was kind of new to the industry, and you know, and I'd only really got like a set way that I modeled at that time that I thought was successful and made me look good and gave the vibe that they wanted, and so I got asked to be cool and young and all this kind of stuff, and so I was doing my best and all this kind of stuff. And we finished the photo section of the shoot, and the photos again go up on this wall. They print them out there on set, and so you have these like actual photo printouts of all the different looks. And I was looking at the board and I was like, I'm smashing it out. Like, this is really, really good, despite the energy and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm doing well. But then it came to do the video, right? And we're doing the video, and like David Sims is just getting more and more and more annoyed. And so I'm seeing my career die, like right in front of me. Like, I'm trying my hardest, I'm super tired, and I'm seeing my career die. And he was just getting more and more frustrated with me. The more frustrated he got with me, the more I closed down. I still was trying my best. You know, I wasn't like too experienced at this time. I was hyper professional in terms of turning up and making sure I'd got sleep and stuff. But in terms of like being able to weather the criticism constantly while I'm trying to be creative, it was very, 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 very difficult for me. And so the video came up, and I was doing the video, and David Sims got so mad at me, and he was like, be cool, just be cool. Like, that's all you have to do. And I'm like, why don't you tell me how I'm not being cool? Like, give me something. At one point during the video shoot, he got so annoyed that, kind of sarcastically, he got out like a karaoke machine and like just started singing like Frank Sinatra to try and loosen me up. And he was like, you like Frank Sinatra, right? You like Frank Sinatra? And I'm like, yes, I like Frank Sinatra. Yes, I like Frank Sinatra. And he's like doing that, and I'm like doing my best that I can and all this kind of stuff. And like, but yeah, the shoot ended. Like, he didn't even say bye to me or anything. Like, and I left feeling I left that shoot feeling like an absolute failure. And it was really, really sad. And then for the next couple of months, you know, I was kind of waiting because my agent had said that if I did a good job, he'd be booking me for loads of stuff. And I sort of left that shoot feeling totally defeated and knowing fine well that I wasn't going to be booked by David Sims again. And still from that, you know, even 6 years down the line, whenever I got a big campaign, whether it be for like L'Oreal or something like that, and I got through to the final few people that were going to get it, and I saw that David Sims was the photographer, I knew I wasn't going to get it. I was really nice the whole shoot, and I never like showed that I was angry or like disrespected anyone or anything like that. But just because in that one time, after 4 months of modeling, doing $100,000 shoot, that I wasn't like totally free and chill and cool and all this kind of stuff, and I was maybe a little nervous because, as I say, both because of my, you know, how young I was in the industry and I didn't really know much yet, and also because of the energy of what was happening. Because of that, I knew for a fact David Sims was never going to book me again, and it was super upsetting for me, honestly, and it really sucked. And it was one of the first things that sort of soured my opinion of some of the more upper level experiences of the modeling industry. I just always thought that unless I was just like, if I was just me, which is like a nice, like chill guy, doing his best, that wasn't going to be enough. I had to be someone that thought the sun shined out my bottom, and I had to have that arrogance and that confidence from the get-go, you know, and there was no room for anything else. And, you know, further on in my career, I definitely established that sort of fake arrogance sort of thing. But it definitely really gave me the idea that me and who I was, it didn't even matter. All that mattered was like me schmoozing and pretending and all that kind of stuff. Again, I got paid like a good amount of money for it. It came out when it was released, all my friends were going crazy. I was taking pictures with myself in like Milan and in London, and it was super exciting to have done it. And I got like a load of buzz throughout the industry and all that kind of stuff, and it really heightened me and brought me to new heights and made the rest of my career go really, really well. But in the back of my head, I'd failed. I'd really failed, and that really stuck with me because that's just who I am. I'm not gonna be someone who thinks that I'm an amazing person and that I'm better than everyone else and walk around with this stiff attitude. That's never gonna be me. It's just never gonna be me, and it never will be me. I'll always be humble. I'm from humble beginnings. I always respect authenticity and kindness above coolness or status, always. I don't think I'm better than anyone else, and all that kind of stuff. And that really served me sometimes in the modeling industry, but sometimes it really just didn't serve me. Sometimes I was in situations where everyone took themselves very seriously. They were waiting for the slightest amount of weakness from you to exploit and make you feel bad, and it just didn't go well. It just didn't go well, and it really disappointed me. It disappointed me because I felt like I let my agent down. It disappointed me because I'd let myself down. It disappointed me because I couldn't make the money that I wanted to make to be able to help my family. You know, I had all these like amazing dreams for what was going to happen, and I just saw all of them crumble in that moment. Honestly, it was really, really bad. But as I say, you know, the shoot came out, and I was super excited about it, and I had it in my book, and I wanted everyone to know that I'd done it. Like in my castings and stuff, I wanted everyone to know, because I was like, I'm professional. You can put on $1 million photo shoot, and I'll be able to achieve everything you need from that photo shoot. Don't you worry. Even though I didn't feel like that, I wanted to project that to any new clients that I was going to meet. And this was like a badge of authenticity for me on my modeling career. And so I was excited about all those kind of things, and I was excited about the money that I received, and all that kind of stuff. But this is another thing in the modeling industry. Even though I did get paid for that shoot, but from the day of the shoot, I don't get paid for 3 months. So 3 whole months will go by until I see any of that money. And after 3 months of like the occasional advances and the bills on top of my bills and my debt that I got into with the modeling industry, from a $30,000, $35,000 check, I actually ended up only receiving about $4,000, especially after tax, after agency fees, which was like 45% at the time. I tried to negotiate that down a few times. It just didn't work. So again, I'm super grateful that I got the opportunity. I'm super grateful that I did it and the pictures came out and everyone was happy with the pictures and they were all over everywhere. Sean O'Pry, who is another very, very big model, he did the men's section of Zara, and I did the Zara Young section, so I was alongside Sean O'Pry, and that looked good for me. And there was a lot of buzz about me from it, so all of that was good. And I just done the L'Officiel Homme thing, and every single shoot I did in L'Officiel Homme, they were super happy. Like L'Officiel Homme was super happy, like everyone was super happy. And but the Zara shoot, you know, it could have gone better. It could have gone better, and I kicked myself for a long time about that, honestly. Another interesting thing about it was I never got the clothes, and when I went back to New York, and like a few weeks after, I didn't want to press anyone for the clothes because I also just didn't want to like sour a relationship. But I was like asking my agent, being like, hey, they said they were going to send these clothes to this address and I still haven't received any of the clothes. And they wouldn't reply to my agent about it. And eventually, after like a couple of months of asking and annoying my agent about it, he just kind of gave up asking, and I gave up asking, and I just never received the clothes again. So hey, look, this is a negative episode, obviously, because it didn't go well. It didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. The pictures went well, everyone else saw it well, but I knew inside my head that I hadn't done the best job that I could possibly have done. But hey, I had no sleep, and I'd been traveling for like 9 days in a row. I was exhausted. I was on planes all the time. I was living in hotels. I had a tiny little suitcase. Like, I had to shave all the time, and then, you know, my skin was rough, and complain. But it was just really hard. I don't know how else to explain it. Time and time again within this modeling stuff, I feel like so silly for even complaining, but that's just what happened. And that's how I felt, and I wanted to do better, and I wanted to also have been treated better. And, you know, at the time I didn't feel like I had a right to feel that way, but treat me better, treat models better, like treat everyone better. I don't understand how it's so difficult for people to treat each other better. But after this shoot, I went into the top 50 models, and there was so much buzz around me, and I can tell you, I kept on working for campaigns. I did DKNY after this. I did covers of 10 Men magazine and other really, really big publications. I can guarantee you, even when my status was at the very top, I did nothing but treat everyone with respect, humility, and kindness. And I don't feel like that's too much to ask in return, especially considering that with my help, these people make a significant amount of money, and I did my best, and the amount of money that I make in terms of percentage wise is nothing in comparison to how much money the company makes, and you know, the agencies get a big cut. So I just want it to be treated with respect, and that's just how it is. And yeah, in the next episode I'll go into L'Officiel Homme and I'll detail each shoot that I did. It'll be way more positive, and I had like really, really good times. I made some really, really good relationships and connections, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. So this is Jamie Wise. Like and subscribe on my videos. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I really appreciate it, and leave me a comment or send me a message. Ask me something else, and I'd love to fill you in on all the details. So thank you very much.